I'm very excited right now because for the first time in 5 months I got a demo finished, so yes! Now let me explain really quickly because this isn't actually what I meant to talk about, but I should probably explain why I'm so excited. The way that I'm approaching this project, because of the length and the scope of it, to prevent myself from doing really stupid stuff in the music or just going insane from working on the same thing for so long, is I have a group of fellow musicians that I'm working with that are helping me by listening to the early versions of tracks that I'm working on and making suggestions as to what works and what doesn't. Part of the advantage of that, besides getting a second opinion on stuff, is that I'm able to share things that aren't really finished enough that I would want to show everybody, but are finished enough for me to say, hey, what do you think about this idea? So it's been 4 or 5 months since I've actually finished something in one of my projects. I tend to do a little bit on a whole bunch of different songs, so there'll be like 7 songs that are all not close to done. I have a very unstructured style of recording and writing. So I am very excited when something is demo ready, as I am right now. And again, that's not actually what I wanted to talk about in this video, but my excitement is running over, so there you go. Switching topics. In the past few weeks, I've started really enjoying using services like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram because I made a change in how I view them. You see, for a long time when I used these accounts, I always had in the back of my mind the idea that I needed to promote myself specifically to try and gain more of a follower base. So underneath every tweet, underneath every post, underneath every video, I'd be trying to analyze and figure out if it would help or hinder this weird image. Instead of just using the services as I find them enjoyable and appreciating it when people are interested enough to follow me. So that's inspired me to say something to you, the internet using, possible social media loving person that you are right there. Enjoy social media, because that's the point. It's surprising, especially on Twitter, the prevalence of this attitude that the number of followers or your reach is the most important thing about the service. But something that any experienced Twitter user can tell you is that, for the most part, a large majority of the people that follow you don't really interact with you and may not even care about what you do. So any numeric inflation that you get from promising to follow anyone who follows you, or following random people you're not interested in, or threatening to unfollow anyone who unfollows you, is kind of pointless. On a whole, using social media to measure your worth in terms of your social appeal is really, really stupid, because it's incredibly inaccurate. I mean, some of the people that I enjoy following and interacting with the most on all forms of social media are people that have almost no followers, but do it anyways because they enjoy it. And often that makes what they film or write or tweet or post really authentic and cool, because you know that they don't have an agenda that they're trying to follow. Now, I'm not saying if you have a bunch of followers that you by default are obsessed with attention, but I am saying it is easier to tell someone's motives when someone's using a service a lot, doesn't have a lot of followers, and isn't constantly whining or trying to change that. Now, like I said, this has been a recent change for me, so in the past, I have had this flawed perspective, and I've done stuff like follow random people to see who would follow me. And partially because of that, I just want to put out there, on the record, I really don't mind if you don't follow or subscribe or share my posts if you're not interested. And again, I have to say this because I've seen several people that get really up in arms when someone stops following what they do. It's not a personal affront. So if you enjoy my stuff, sure, subscribe, repost, retweet, like, whatever. But if you don't, even if you're someone that I've known personally for a really long time, I don't mind. Use social media to enjoy connecting with individuals, and leave it at that. And then move on with your life. Because most of the metrics really are kind of meaningless if you compare them to what you're doing, you know, in the real world. This is Jacke Karashae wishing you an awesome week, and I will see you soon.